Today we are going to be making a tier list, mostly centered around if you're a scrub, these are the characters that are going to be top tier. But I know what you're thinking. Hey, who's this guy? I've never seen this guy before. If you don't know who I am, my name is Captain Crispy, and I like to play fighting games. So we're going to get into making this tier list right now. Alright, our first character that we're going to do is Shang Tsung. Alright, I have a lot of opinions about this character. So if you're a scrub, you probably hate this fucking character with a passion. Because a lot of the times you're going to fight like Shang Tsungs that are just going to stand at the back of the screen and just spam projectiles over and over and zone. Right, but if you fight like an actually good one, good luck winning, because you know he has a lot of mix if you play him like with Lao, and overall just like a really solid character, you know, very technical character. So I wouldn't say he's like a scrub friendly character that you could just pick up, but he's definitely going to be a problem. So I'm going to say I'm going to put him in like high A tier because of how annoying he can be. Yeah, so, and the next pick that we have, we got Baraka. See, I would argue that Baraka is probably the most notorious, you know, character in Mortal Kombat 1 so far. I mean, to be honest, like, I really hate Baraka too, like, especially if you, like, pair him with Cyrax, because you could just get chip damage, you know, for days. But like it is like possible to like flawless block some of his things, but honestly, like if we're scrubs, we're not going to be able to do that shit because we're bad. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna put Baraka in S tier, my first S tier pick. As far as he's gonna be my first S tier pick as far as who's like the most annoying. Now Li Mei. So I'm thinking that I actually main Li Mei now because I'm really a big fan of her pressure. Honestly, I think she's like a pretty honest character. So, but she has like a lot of gaps in her strings, and I feel like, you know, if you zone her out, like she's like relatively easy to fight. So I can't imagine like someone like picking Li Mei on the screen and them just leaving immediately afterwards. Like that just wouldn't make any sense, because like I've seen people, you know, who've seen Baraka pop up on the screen and character select and just bounce and leave. But I don't think Li Mei is like that, so I'm gonna put her in B tier because she's an honest day's work. Smoke. Okay, if we were going off a pro tier list, right, he'd probably be considered like low tier, right? I personally don't understand why he's low tier. I think the character's like pretty good, but I would say he is probably the most annoying character to fight for me personally because of the mix. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, oh, just block it. But you know, I feel like there's a lot of options that you gotta like look out for, like with his back too and his overhead, and he could just check you with his low. It's just, there's a lot of layers to this character, and if you're like new to the game and if you're a scrub, he's gonna destroy you. Let's just be honest. Rain. So recently Sonic has been playing this character a lot, and I think, you know, to play him on like a pro level, I still think he's pretty honest. So I think he's probably around Li Mei. I don't see a whole lot of people like complaining about Rain, because I feel like a lot of his projectiles are super slow and he's pretty easy to counter. So I'm gonna put him with Li Mei, so pretty honest. Raiden, come on, you know where I'm gonna put him. One touch, 50%. Even the scrubs could do his combos, so that's why he's kind of like more dangerous. So I'm actually gonna put him like probably top 1, and I'm just gonna rearrange this and put probably Smoke is probably more annoying than Baraka, maybe. No, I'm tripping. No, we're gonna keep Baraka here. Melina. If you fight a good Melina player, you know, they're really annoying. But I think there's ways that you could counter her. Like, as long as you just block, I think you could catch like a like people just doing random ball rolls sometimes. So I think, you know, there's ways around her, but if you don't really understand the matchup, she can be pretty annoying for scrubs. So I'm gonna put her in A tier. Lao. No one really talks about it, but I think Lao is pretty much a gorilla now with his like wake up into like Goro assist. I think he's very gorilla-esque now. I think it's about time that he's reached that level. But honestly, I feel like Lao kind of deserves it, because I feel like Lao should be a gorilla character, because I feel like in Mortal Kombat 11, just like, you know, with them jumping all over the place, or even in like MKX, you know, there's just a lot of shit that you got to look out for. I feel like for other games, it was mostly his dive kick that you had to be worried about, but now it's his armor options as far as his wake ups go, because he could just randomly do it and just launch you for like 32%. So yeah, I'm gonna put him above Chang Sung. Yeah, I would say he's pretty gorilla. Kenshi. Do I really need to talk about Kenshi? If they know what they're doing, yeah, a scrub doesn't stand a chance. Absolutely not. With all of the tools that Kenshi has, he doesn't really have any bad matchups or weaknesses, so it makes sense that he goes there. Controversial opinion. All right. Okay. Johnny. So... Okay, hear me out, okay? He's a rushdown character, right? And for scrubs, if you don't know about frames, you're most likely gonna get fucked, all right? If you don't know where he's plus, or when it's your turn and when it's not, when to poke, kind of a thing, I'd say he's really, really hard to fight. So it kind of leaves you at this point where you have to like zone him out. But if you use like Cyrax assist, and like you can't really like trade with them as far as like the projectile game goes. So I really want to put him A+, but for the people, I'll put him in S. I can't say that he's more annoying than... I can't say that he's more annoying than Smoke and Baraka. I think he's definitely more annoying. I'd say Kenshi's definitely better than Johnny for sure. Katana? Probably around the same level as Chang Sung as well. Just like most of the time for the scrubby katanas you fight, they just, you know, just run away and throw like projectiles like for most of the game. But the really good ones, it's like I don't even think pros know the matchup for Katana too well, because, you know, not a whole lot of people besides Dragon is like playing her right now, and Foxy, so that I'm aware of. But she's a solid character, you know, in the right head. So yeah. Natara, this might just be a me thing, but I think Natara is actually, you know, pretty good, especially if you're a scrub, because I feel like there's still a lot for me that I have to learn about Natara, because she's just like all over the place and I have no idea when it's like my turn, and she's just like, I guess I always hate fighting like really jump heavy characters, you know, considering, which is kind of weird because I jump like crazy too, but I'd say Natara's pretty annoying to fight. I wouldn't say that she's honest, but I would put her in like low A. Scorpion. I think Scorpion is pretty honest, honestly, and I think he's probably the most honest character so far, so I'm gonna put him in like C tier, because I feel like he has a lot of weaknesses, but he's just, I can't imagine why you would need to complain about Scorpion. I guess like it's kind of hard to be random with Scorpion, because if you're random with him and people manage to like block like a spear or like a teleport, like you're just gonna get launched for like half your life, because most of the cast is at least doing like 40%. Sub-Zero, same, I would say around the same level. He's pretty honest. You know, Clone is still like really annoying, but you know, just like you can just armor through it, and clones don't last as long as like MKX, for example. It's just Clone is just not that viable as it used to be. Liu Kang, I'm gonna put it B tier. Like, if you play with Lao, I guess he gets a little bit, you know, better, and it's kind of hard to like read throws, because I know like scrubs, you know, they really have a hard time, slash me, by the way, they really have a hard time reading throws because I can't like tech for shit. So a lot of the times, you know, if we're getting back throwed, we're definitely getting launched, you know, with the help, you know, from Kung Lao. But honestly, pretty honest character, you know, like I think the only dirty thing about him is his throws, but other than that, he's like really honest. Shao Kahn, I actually don't know a whole lot about Shao Kahn, honestly, so I'm gonna put him in C. I think he's pretty honest. It's just the only thing is just like, you know, I feel like he doesn't have a whole lot of mobility and his buttons are slow. But I think, you know, if you fight a Shao Kahn, it's very rare for like me to want to rage quit. Most of the time I feel like they definitely earned the win if I lose to a Shao Kahn. So why is no one talking about Sindel? Sindel, I think is really good. I think she's a sleeper pick. All right, I think she's actually really good because her little, I forgot which button is, like her forward 2, you know, that little hair flip, you know, mid that she has, that shit can catch you like from so fucking far away. It anti-airs, it does a whole lot of shit, and if you are a scrub and you don't really understand the matchup, like it's gonna be really fucking confusing to fight her because she has all these like float cancels that she's doing. It's like anti-airing her is gonna be really hard. So that's just, I feel like this is a character that needs to be studied more. I know that I have to study her more, so I'm gonna put her in, I'm gonna put her like right about here. Yeah, I think she's a little bit harder to fight than Chang Sung, for sure. Ashura, me personally, I don't really struggle against Ashura, to be honest. I feel like she's a pretty easy character to fight because I feel like a lot of the matchup is just like blocking and waiting for your turn and ducking her highs and just punishing that. But I mean, she still has like a lot of mobility, great wake ups, great buttons that are really hard to contest. I think, you know, it just depends on the character you're playing. So if you're like playing someone like fucking well, I don't know, someone who doesn't have like great range and you're fighting an Ashura, that's going to be like a really tough matchup, so she can feel really strong. But I think I've yet to fight like a super good Ashura, but I'm sure like she's as strong as everyone's saying. So, but I'm not gonna put her S tier, I'm gonna put her like here. All right, I hope that's fair. Havoc, I'm gonna put him B tier. Put him like in high B tier because I know he has a lot of dirt, but you have to be really good with Havoc to actually like make him work, because he's just like a wonky character to play, and I eventually plan on playing him at some point in the future. But I think he's okay. I think he's pretty honest. Reptile, I'm gonna put him here, like a little bit above Scorpion. I think he, you know, is like super honest. I think, you know, he's a really footsie like heavy character, and depending on which cameo you play him with, like he gets, you know, access to a lot of tools like invisibility, and I guess that's like, in my opinion, probably the only like really dirty thing he has. But I feel like if you just armor out, you know, it's not too bad. But if they bait you, then like you're getting launched for like what, like 35%, so it's not like you're risking a whole lot as in comparison to the rest of the cast. So Garrus, if you're a scrub, you're gonna struggle with Garrus. I think Garrus is better than Ashura. Hot take. I think it really just depends on what cameo you play with Garrus, and if you're a scrub, you probably are like very confused about his setups and all this shit that he's doing, and you don't know, like, you know, what that instant, you know, timescape thingy move he has. is pretty good, because once he gets like 2 stacks, he can pretty much like freeze the screen pretty much, and if you're not blocking, you're gonna get launched for a full combo. So I think that is like a very underrated tool that, you know, I think is really, really good. So Tanya, I think she's a sleeper pick. I would put her like probably above like Katana. I think a lot of people just don't know how to fight her, and I think that's even true on the pro level, and especially true for the scrubs, because like you're sit here trying to play neutral with her, trying to play footsies with her, then you get like fucking launched from like half screen. So it's just like you have no idea what you're fighting. Reiko, one of my main characters that I like to play. If you play with Darius, he's probably here, honestly, because it's just like 62% of your life just getting taken away because of a command grab. Like, that's ridiculous, you know. But if you're not playing him with, you know, Darius, I'd say he's probably about here. I think so, because I think he's pretty underrated, but I think he's a really solid character. Like, playing footsies with him, he's just like, I think he's like a fundamentals character, you know. So if you have really good fundamentals and understandings of like footsies and meaties, like, you're gonna do very well with this character. But I think I'm gonna leave him there like for the time being. But now we have a full and complete tier list that is mostly catered for scrubs. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys, you know, comment below and tell me where you guys would put things differently, or what your hot takes are. I would love to know. But I'll catch you guys on the next video. Keep it crispy.